Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. I want to start this video out today with a little bit of a warning. This is for entertainment purposes only and not education. Today we're going to move some cattle. In the last video we talked a little bit about some of the small portable infrastructure that we're using to be able to manage these animals. Today we're going to go into depth on that just a little bit more. We're going to talk a little bit more about how we move them, how we set up our paddocks. We're going to set up a water lane and show you how that we give the animals access to continuous water without having multiple water points on the farm. So hang out with us for a little bit. Let's spend some time outside in God's creation and work with these cattle, and let's see if we can get them moved today. And yeah, don't take any of this serious. We're just learning this, so this is not, like I say, this is not intended to be educational. We just want to show you how we're doing stuff. We're just trying to document this for ourselves. But anyway, hang out with us for a little bit. Let's move some cows. Okay, I want to talk a little bit more about grazing cattle on small acreage and how you can take advantage of that acreage without overworking your grass and getting behind, especially whenever we get into these hot summer months when we're not getting a whole lot of rain and grass is not growing real fast. Now, it just so happens in about the past 10 days, we've gotten 5 inches of rain here. So right now, end of May, rain is not a big issue. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about our setup and what we're doing. So first off, this is kind of our sacrifice area, and this is where we've got our drinker, and that runs via hose back down to our shop, and it's hooked up to a yard hydrant. And this is a Joe mega flow valve, and as the cows come up and drink, the water level goes down, the valve opens up, and it fills the drinker back up with water. Super cheap, super easy, and this thing is portable. I can take it anywhere. And we've put this together without a whole lot of expense or without putting in permanent drinking stations that we've got to work around. We can move this with the cattle. So what we're going to do today, we've had these guys down here we were here for 2 days, and I went back and calculated this out using Google Maps. This is really about an acre. So we had them on half of it for one day, and then we had them on the other half for the second day. Now we've moved them through a gate up here into this back paddock, back pasture, and I gave them a section yesterday. We're going to go back there and we're going to fence them off another section for today. But we're getting around, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Tomorrow will be 4 days since they've been on this, and what we've read, after about 4 days, they will start to come back and regraze this. I'm kind of surprised they're on this area right now. I think they're over here taking advantage of some of the shade. But we're going to build us an alleyway that allows them to come back to the drinker without moving it, because these critters got 4 legs. They can walk to get some water. We're going to build them an alleyway that goes along the side up here, up to that back pasture, so they can still come down and get water. But we're going to cordon them off so they can't get back on this and regraze this again. The trick here is rest. We've had them on the area, they've grazed the area, now we're going to let it rest. And yeah, this was a little bit of a muddy spot that we had from all that rain that we've had. So let's throw some posts in, let's run them back up into this back area back here, and build the alleyway and give them a new spot back here. We may actually go back and build their new paddock first. Yeah, let's do that and put them on some fresh grass and see if we can entice them back there. Okay, so here's where they've been for the past 24 hours. And so we're going to go over here, but we're going to break their paddock up a little different. Instead of making this long skinny paddock that comes from down here to the bottom and goes all the way up the top, I'm going to pull off of a post right here, and we're going to go back out to our line out here on this side. Now remember, I've got 2 strands of poly down here that's attached to an energizer right over there, so we have hot wire to pull off of. And I think probably what I'm going to do is just pull this wire up right here, back it up to that blue post, and then string it that way, and then we'll pull our alleyway for our drinking, to go back to our drinking station, back to that post right over there, and then back up to here. So we're keeping an alleyway. We're going to be able to keep them off of where they just grazed, keeping them off the previous 2 paddocks where they've grazed, and still giving them a way to get to water. So let's work on putting some posts in. Okay, had a little change of heart here. I'm going to start a new line right here, which is just up the paddock a little ways, and then we're going to turn it. We're just got a reel with a conductive handle on it. We'll just plug it in, hook it on right there, and then we're going to walk along this line of posts back out to our main, I'll call it a trunk line that we're running our power off of. So then we've got power on both sides, or we've got power along that side, and then power, got a hot fence right here. And then we're going to take this line up part of the way, and we'll extend, you know, I'll probably leave that. We're going to extend our alleyway back up, and I think I'm going to bring it to here too. That's going to give them some shade for some lounging area. So this will be a little bit more of a sacrifice, but they've not, you know, they were just on this for a day. So even if they graze on this a little bit more for another day or two, it doesn't hurt anything. We're not going to be overgrazing it. So got posts put in. Let's hook onto this, and we're going to walk our line back out to the other side there. Got the line pulled, and I've just looped it around the top of these blue step in so that we got good connection, or we're touching real well to this. This is our trunk line that's attached to our energizer down here. So we're going to open these guys up. They're standing at the fence ready to go. We're going to open them up, let them come up here and start grazing. Then we're going to work on building out that lane back to our drinker. Now, one thing that I kind of touched on it on the last video, and I want to say it now so that people don't, because actually not published that video as of the time of recording on this one. Before people start blowing me up, yes, we do have a good solid perimeter fence that, I mean, it comes all the way around here, back up here, along the side, up here to where we've kind of terminated this trunk line, and then it keeps going. But I don't have fence right here along the spring branch, and I don't want them over in there. I don't want them to get over there and get hurt, and I also don't want them over there mucking up the branch and causing a bunch of erosion. I've learned a bad lesson on that with some pigs. I let some pigs in a spring branch over here on another part of the property, and now we're going to have to hire an excavator, come in, clean that out, put some riprap in, and solidify those branch walls so we're not getting a bunch of wash and a bunch of erosion. So big lesson learned there. That's on me. So yes, we do have a good solid perimeter fence. Don't bring these animals on your farm until you have a solid perimeter fence and you know you can keep them on your property. You want to be able to sleep at night knowing that these cattle aren't down in the road, or that they're not over on the neighbor's property, or that they're just out and you're going to have to chase them. So, and we had these guys get out a couple nights, but they solid perimeter. They came back up to the house and they were laying in the pasture right next to the house a couple nights. I think something got down there and spooked them. Don't know if it was a dog or a coyote, but anyway, we're up here now on this back pasture. I ran this on Google Maps and plotted this out. I've got a little over, right at 2 acres on this. So we should be able to get, with 20 cows, based on the amount of space we've been grazing them on so far, and everybody staying full, we should be able to get 6 days out of this, I think. 5 at the minimum, 6 at the most. We'll just see how it ends up working out. I mean, I gave them a little bit too big area yesterday, I think, looking at the way they've grazed it. Don't have near the disturbance that I would like to have, but that's okay. So let's get these guys moved over, and then we'll start working on building our water lane. This is kind of challenging one arm, so I'm just gonna pull it up, and then I'll roll it up in a second. We're just gonna pull it up here off these posts. We'll let everybody go across. All right, boys, let's go. Who's first? 110. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but the grass is hip high on these guys. And these are 800 weight steers. All right, so that's the move. You know, we put out 1, 2, 3, about 8 posts, pulled a wire, picked another one up, and boom, they went across. Now, our goal is they're not going to come back onto a previously grazed paddock. Hello, Cinnamon. They're not going to come back onto a previously grazed paddock for somewhere in the neighborhood of about 45 days. And we've got areas on this farm that these cattle still haven't grazed, hadn't touched. Plus, we've got areas that they've been off of now for 38 days. So in a week, they can go back on previously grazed paddocks. And that grass on those areas where they've already been and grazed once is looking absolutely fantastic. Looks great. And there's 20, and we've only got about 30 acres of grazing land, and we're only using about 20 of it. So it's a testament to rotational grazing, moving these animals around, and saving your grass. And everybody's full, and we're not burning our grass up. We're not using it all up, and we've not had to feed a thing yet. Of course, it's June, end of May, 1st of June, so we shouldn't have to be feeding, but all grass fed. Yeah. Let's go build that water lane. Cinnamon, honey, am I your big salt lick? Bless your heart. What a tongue on that thing. Got the water lane in, and we've brought it back to the edge of this paddock that we've let them have access to, and I've given them a little bit extra of where they were the day before, because it's late in the afternoon and there's some good shade here, so that'll give them some place to come and lounge and cool. But everybody's eating right now. So quick review, we've got our new paddock here. This is where they're eating. We're attached to a trunk line over there. I was hooking this one up, which is not attached to anything, hooking it up there, it kept biting me. I forgot I'd turn the Energizer on, but anyway, got it hooked in the trunk line, and then this is our line that creates our water lane. And we've just put in some posts to keep them off of this, which is where they were. They came to yesterday through today, and we're keeping them off of these last 2 areas down here that they grazed over the past couple of days. So we just brought some posts, put in some posts, and pulled our line up, and this goes down and around our drinker at the bottom of the field. So let's walk down through here and I'll show you. Come on, Sophie. We're keeping our lane fairly narrow to discourage any loafing in the lane. Probably a little wider than it needs to be to do that, but nevertheless, we're trying to keep them from loafing. Name of the game being, we're keeping them off of this. We don't want them back on this for 45 days. So we're keeping them off this for a while. Let it rest, let it come back, and our grass should be thicker than it was to begin with. This was some thick stuff. This is our water lane. Comes all the way back around. Our high tensile is right over here, and the juice on our high tensile ends right there at that gate. We don't have it tied any farther going up the hill. So line comes down here. I took it loose so that it didn't have any spark on it. Line comes down here, and then we're going to reattach it. Oh, that's hot. We're going to reattach it right there. So now we're enclosed. They can come and drink. They can work their way down here to drink. They're in a new paddock for grazing. We're keeping them off of where they were so it can rest. So we're accomplishing a bunch of different things there. This area here, a little bit of a sacrifice area, a lot of loafing here. I think probably what we need to do is just come in and unroll some hay on this, just to put a little carbon back down. You're going to have these little sacrifice areas. We probably could do a better job, but again, it's like our 38th day. We're still trying to figure out where the bathroom is. And this kind of thing is stuff we're going to have to work through, figure out how to better manage it. We're a little limited on water. Where we have water points and how we can get to water, that's something we're going to need to continue to develop and figure out. But until we do this for a while, we're not sure where that needs to be. So this is a little bit of an orientation, a little bit of a learning for us on where to put these things so that we can be more effective in our grazing management. So like I said at the beginning of the video, this is not intended to be educational or instructional in any way. We're just simply documenting what we're doing here on the farm. And we've got a lot of folks that comment and email and that sort of thing saying that they live vicariously through us because they're in an apartment or a condo or a neighborhood, and they can't be on a farm for whatever reason. So we hope that folks enjoy watching what we do, even whenever we do mess it up. But what we're trying to do here in the end is graze these animals, graze cattle on small acreage, and improve our ability to stock more densely and to have more animals in the future. The farm's in great shape, but we're trying to increase the organic matter in the soil, be able to grow more grass, and just to improve this piece of ground that the good Lord has given us the ability to be the caretakers for. I think I said it in a video before, and I don't mean to get too poetic here, but we own nothing. If you think about it, you own nothing. You come into the world with nothing, and you'll leave with nothing. And I think to be entrusted with this small 70 acres here, that really means a lot to us. So we're trying to do right by the land. We're trying to do right by the animals and raise these animals like we should. If you're interested in grazing principles, and learning more about grazing, I would recommend that you check out some other guys that do this on a much larger scale than we do. Greg Judy, Cliff Honus, Joel Salton. A lot of those guys have been doing this for years and years, and they're experts in it, where we're just simply novices. I mean, we are just now kind of cutting our teeth in this world. But it's important also for us to add multi-species to the farm. We've got a lot of grass here. Like I said earlier, there's probably 35 acres of grass here. We're only able to graze about 19 or 20 of it right now because of some fence and stuff that we need to do up here on this backside that's in the woods, and the fence is really in pretty it's not in bad shape. It just needs some work, and we've got to pull some barbed wire, put some posts in, and kind of fix that. And water's another issue. We're still trying to figure out water and how to get water where we need it. Talked about that a second ago. But yeah, that's where we're at. Hope that this is helpful to some of you. Hope you enjoy watching it. Enjoy watching me sweat. It's hot out here today. But anyway, like we always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.